Hi everyone, my name is Daryl, and today I'm going to do a quick review of Toyota's OEM crossbars and show you how to install them. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, there's a specific reason for why you are considering crossbars, but just in case, let's discuss why you would want crossbars in the first place. The first reason is for cargo and recreation. Crossbars allow you to add a roof rack or a basket for storing cargo on the roof, or you can use them for carrying bikes or skis or other recreational items. The second reason is many people simply like the looks of their vehicles with crossbars on them. It gives the RAV4 a more rugged look. My wife really loves the way it looks. Let's talk about why I like the Toyota crossbars. They're relatively cheap, they're easy to install, and I think they look great. They're aerodynamic, and they work perfectly with my Rhino roof rack. Toyota even sends you a little torque wrench that you can use to install the product. The only downside I can see is that the plastic keys to the crossbar locks. I'd prefer a metal lock and a metal key. I looked at the crossbars from Thule, Yakima, and others. For me, they seemed overpriced, and installation wasn't as easy as the Toyota's OEM crossbars. There are knockoff Toyota crossbars that are a little less expensive on Amazon. These are also easy to install, and I noticed some of them have better locks and keys than Toyota's OEM product. The product I really liked when researching was from Rhino Rack. It offered easy installation and, more importantly, easy removal. And it had metal keys and locks. I just had problems getting them because of supply issues, and I lost patience. Overall, I'm very happy with the Toyota OEM crossbars. We need them to support the roof rack and all the gear we take with us when camping. So let's go ahead and get to the install. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about what comes in the kit. You get your crossbars right here. You get the cover plates right here that go over the top of the crossbars to make everything look nice and pretty and neat. Then you got your hardware. So you've got your bolts right here. You've got your keys to the locks right here. You've got some locking washers right here. You've got your instructions, and then you also, Toyota does a real nice job of just giving you this, it's a torque wrench, I guess, is basically what it is. So you can torque it down to a specific thing that they want you to torque it down to, and we'll go over that when we start with the install. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to remove these cover plates right here. So if you see, your roof rails have these little cover plates, and so we just need to remove those. A couple of tools I'm going to have just a little screwdriver to remove the cover plates, and then I'll also have a little socket wrench to help with the installation of the hardware. Okay, you don't have to have those. If you actually have some power tools, that might be handy as well, but we're going to just do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so let's start with removing the cover plates. So you simply, there's a little notch right here, so you simply insert your little screwdriver, and you just push it out of there, and it pops right out. So there's our first cover plate, and we're going to do that for the other three. Okay. Okay, so those cover plates have been removed, and Toyota gives you this really nice little plastic bag here, bell cover storage, so you can just put your covers right into that bag. Yeah, so make sure you put these away and keep them in a safe place, because you might decide that you don't want to have the crossbar installed forever. And if that happens, then you're going to want to have these cover plates so that you can reinstall everything. So put them in a safe place. Okay. Okay, so our next step is to install the crossbars. You can't just put the crossbars in any direction, right? Yeah, so if you look at the crossbars, this one says right hand front, and I think you can read that. And this one here, trying to get my thing out of the way. This one says right hand rear, right? So you need to orient them that way. So this is the right hand on the front side, this is right hand on the rear side. And so let's go ahead and get these installed. So I'm going to move my there. This goes down here. Okay. Okay, so that fits down in there nicely. If you also notice, there's a bolt hole that goes right here, and that same bolt hole is right down here, so that's how you line it up. And then you will do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we just line these up nicely. Probably just easier to line it up right with the bolt hole. And it sits in there nice and flat, and you know you're good to go. So let's go ahead and grab the other crossbar. Okay, sits nice and flat. And go to the other side. Okay. Line it up with a hole. Sits nice and flat, and we're good to go. Okay, so now we need to install the hardware. Okay, so our next step is installing the hardware, and this will actually probably take the longest just because you have to bolt everything down. So you have this little washer here, and if you notice, there's some locking washers, there's some prongs that stick up. You want those prongs to face up. And if you notice, it's kind of like a little jigsaw puzzle. And you just fit it into where the bolt goes, and it'll just fit in, you know, kind of fits in multiple ways, but once it sits in there flat, you know, you're good to go. But just make sure the prongs are up. So you just put the prong in there. Make sure it's facing up. And there it goes. Just sits in there nice and flat. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other three, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so that's done. Now we just have to install the bolts. And this is the one thing that will take the longest time, actually. And we're gonna talk about the torque wrench that they give you. We'll do that in just a second. Yeah, so I can tighten it by hand for a little bit, but that's not can't really tighten it by hand for very long. So you've got this nice little torque wrench, and you can use this as well. But it is gonna take you a while to keep turning this. So that's kind of annoying. So instead, just use your nice little socket wrench. This is a 12 millimeter, is that right? Oh no, 13 millimeter socket. And so we will you don't want to screw this in where it's really tight. You just want to get it down to the bottom where it gives a little bit of force, and then you want to use your torque wrench to finish, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so it got a little bit tight. Not real tight, just a little bit. So now I want to use Toyota's torque wrench to finish it. So the way this torque wrench works is, let me take you over somewhere else so you can see this. Okay, so let's talk about this torque wrench just a little bit. So the way this torque wrench works is you've got like a little window right there, right? And as soon as this bar is kind of in that window, as soon as it shows up, right, that's kind of where you stop. Now, I don't know, I've done this a couple of times, so I don't know if it loses its torquiness after a certain amount of time, But basically when it hits that center is kind of when you want to stop torquing, is what Toyota says. So we're going to go ahead and finish the torquing with this guy. Hopefully you can see this a little bit better, right? So we've got our little window right there, and we're pulling it, and as we pull it, you're going to see that bar here start to move over the top of that window, right? And when it goes right over the top of that window is kind of when you stop. This is kind of tough for me because I'm on a ladder while I'm pulling. So I hope you get the point, but I'm gonna go ahead and stop filming with one hand and standing on the ladder and pulling while I do this. Okay, so I torqued down that one, so I'm gonna go ahead and install the rest of the bolts and torque them down, and then I'll be back in a second, all right? Our next step is to install these cover plates, okay? And it just takes a second. Okay, so the cover plates are similar to the crossbars in that there's certain orientation to them. So if you notice, I think you can see this. This guy says forward on it. They all say forward, so they're all pointing forward. But if you look on the back of it, this one says right hand rear, right? So you're gonna wanna have this cover plate on the right hand side in the rear. And so they're all oriented similarly. They all have that same naming convention on the back of them. So you just have to look at them before you actually install them, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. It's so interesting that holding the camera and doing it with one hand is so much more difficult. So, than with both hands. So here's the lock right here. So you want to get it down in there, the cover plate, and you snap kind of one side down, and then the next side, kind of get it in there, and then from there, you just snap it in place on the top. And there we go. So you'll definitely hear a snap to it, and it's connected, and it's in there. And so this one's installed. We're gonna go ahead and do the other three. So this next one is the right hand forward. Once again, do the lock side first. Get it in there, like that. And the top is still not in. And you snap the top. Snap the top on. And we're all set. Okay, so I'm gonna do the other two, and then we'll finish up. Okay, we're almost done. So last thing we need to do is just lock them up. So you got your nice little key here. So basically we have a lot of planes that go by. So you basically just insert your key into this little keyhole here, and you turn it. Put it in, turn it. And let's do the next one. Let's do the next one. Get it in there, and you turn it. I think these locks are all the same. So I've never had anybody try to steal my crossbars. If they had attempted to get them, they would have got them. So anyway, we've got our crossbars installed and we're done. So that's it. I hope this video gives you the confidence to install these yourself rather than having the dealer do so. One of the things I was curious about was the effect the crossbars had on both fuel economy as well as wind noise in the cabin. If you are curious about these topics, I created the 2 videos below which answer these questions. I hope you'll take a look.